Angel, thank you so much for speaking to me this evening for Edge Radio. How's your day been?
Yeah, pretty good.
We have known you previously for your work as part of a band called Adapt, who were active for a few years. But we're here tonight to talk about the fact that you've started writing and releasing music as a solo artist under the name Angel Tuesday. Adapt started back in 2019 ish. Prior to that point, had you played and written music yourself, or was that your first foray into the field?
I've always kind of written throughout my whole life. I started singing when I was about 6 years old in church. My nan used to take me. And, um, yeah, I guess I've always been very creative and expressive. It's always been a way for me to cope and process emotions. When I was about 14 years old, 13, 14, I wanted to be a drummer really bad. And I knew my parents were never gonna buy me a drum kit. So I was like, "Right, what do I do? I can learn the guitar and I can go busking and I can save up and I'll have a drum kit." And so I did. 1 year later, I had my drum kit and I was living in Melbourne with my grandparents and I couldn't play it because you know, grandparents. The news is on. And so I basically decided it was easier to be a guitarist, especially because I can sing as well. And so I kind of put drums on hold, but yeah, so the reason that I even learnt the guitar was to buy a drum kit.
Earlier this year, we saw you re emerge as a solo artist, Angel Tuesday. How has it felt for you to move from being a member of a band to stepping out on your own as a solo artist?
It hasn't really felt very different, to be honest, because previously I was in a two-piece band and I do aim to form another lineup with Angel Tuesday in the future, whether that be permanent members or just session musicians. At the moment, I am kind of more focused on the creative side of writing and recording. I'm not really that focused on putting a band together, but I would like to have that live show, with a band. The reason that I chose the name Angel Tuesday was to kind of claim my own identity, I guess, and claim that creative force behind my music. In that break between Adapt and Angel Tuesday, basically, I decided to express myself through visual arts. I'm a hairdresser by trade. And so that was a way for me to express my creativity without the music. But now coming back into Angel Tuesday, I hope to bring that artistic side with that. So the artwork for both my singles was done by me.
On your Bandcamp page, you describe Angel Tuesday as a project built around self discovery. And if we look at the first single that you released in February of this year, Disgusting Discussion, you mentioned that is a song that closes a chapter and makes space for what comes next. Are you able to speak about that sort of development in your work?
Well, I would like to say that I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I always have. All my music that I put out is quite introspective, I think. Even Disgusting Discussion, like, the song was written back in the Adapt days, and that's also changed in meaning for me with, checking my own attitude as well. When I hear that song, especially the bit where there's the echoes in the background of me saying those words, I'm not gonna say them. You can look them up. I almost feel like it's me talking to me. It is a song that wasn't written for that, but everyone's got attitude. So I'm just owning that, yeah, I have attitude, I make mistakes, everyone does, but it's okay to have these conversations, and we need to have these conversations or things never change. Attitudes stick and they don't change. Attitude is everything. So I guess that's even shifted for me. That song, I've become more aware of my own attitude towards things, and what I give out is what I get back.
You worked with Chris Thompson as one of your audio engineers. So Chris is based at the Liffey Lounge Room studio and has previously worked with artists like the Waifs, etc. How did you come across Chris, and what has it been like working with him?
I actually met Chris years ago when I was playing in Adapt. We were playing a gig and Chris was doing our sound. Anyway, he loved one of the songs that we played and he wanted to track it. And I said, "Yeah, awesome, I'll get your number and I'll be in contact." So years had gone by and I hadn't done any music, and I had Chris in the back of my mind still every time I had thoughts about the song that he wanted to record, which I'm hoping that one day we may still put together. I gave him a phone call and said, "Hey, remember me? Do you wanna still track that song?" And he said, "Yes." So we met up a few times and started working on another one of my songs that I've got coming out later this year. Me and Chris became like family, and that was one of the best experiences I've had making music, and probably one of the happiest times in my life. Chris really sees my vision. He really knows who I am and what sound I'm trying to manifest into the world. I felt that he had full belief in me as an artist, and that really helped my confidence in being able to actually bring these sounds into reality. I took my tracks to Marcus Winwood at Redbeard Studios in Penguin. Will be mixing and mastering. There was just something missing from Lucid still, and I explained kind of what I was wanting, and straight away Marcus knew what was missing, and that was the EBO. So I was able to use Marcus's EBO in his studio to just do a few more guitar tracks over the top, which created a bit more atmosphere. Um, Marcus has been very patient with me, especially with my mixing notes, because I have a lot of ideas in my head, and I don't yet have the skills for mixing and mastering my own material, but he seems to know exactly what I'm trying to express and to be able to find ways to bring my vision to life. At the moment, he's been in the studio tracking with some friends called Swords Bros, and yeah, he's got a few shows coming up too. So go and see what he's up to. Yeah, but I'm really happy with Marcus's input on the songs and his support, especially with my fussiness.
Shall we talk about Ewan, who's contributed bass and drums to these two
Yeah, so
songs?
Ewan came in to track the drums and the bass guitar. He composed the drums and bass dead on straight up. Like, he's just so talented. I'm very lucky to have had him work on my tracks with me and to spend the time that I did with him. He was a big help in the studio too, helping me with my nerves and my confidence, because I do struggle a lot with that, especially when I'm recording. Like, I feel like more comfortable being busking on the streets than I do recording or playing on a stage that's been booked. I feel more free, more crazy, more me when I don't have to be perfect. The truth is nothing's ever perfect and no one is ever perfect, and even listening back to the songs now, I'm like, "Oh, they could have been better, but they are what they are." So that's just how it will be.
If we look at the new single, Lucid, you offer a statistic up on your Bandcamp page about lucid dreaming, that apparently 20% of people experience this phenomenon regularly. Becoming aware that you're inside a dream can be a strange experience. But you nut down into this in this song. But I feel like it's something that is very applicable to real life as well.
Lucid dreaming is when you are aware that you're in a dream while you're dreaming, and the way you check is to check clocks, um, hold your breath, check for any surreal, abnormal things that wouldn't be in the waking world, and then once you're aware of that, you can actually control your dreams and do whatever you wanna do. And it got me thinking about a time when I was 7 years old. I was going into open heart surgery. I was told that I may not wake up. So from a very young age, I've been quite aware of death and aware of different realms. And it got me thinking, imagine if I wake up and my whole life from 7 years old till 29, that never happened. And then I wake up and I'm in an ICU bed, because this all could be just a big lucid dream, you know? But it feels way too real to be that, but it could, and it's a thought that's reoccurred throughout my life. Imagine if I just wake up and this is all just a big dream, but I need to stop thinking like that, and so do other people. No matter what your reality is, whether you're in a dream or in the waking world, the true power is knowing that you're in the present moment and you can control your own reality and your own destiny. Lucid really comes from a place of having clarity within the dream, within the smoke and the mirrors, and seeing reality for what it is and being able to manifest what you really want to see in the world.